I will always be very proud of my beginnings, my parents, their struggles, their sacrifices, and it is because of them that I am here today and I'm able to support my own community in Kent.
Hello, Erika and Cima. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, my name is Erika and Cima. Okay, my name is Erika Enciso Castillo. I currently work as a student success specialist at Kent School District, specifically at Cañada High School. My family, both of my parents are from Mexico. I was born here in Washington State, in Toppenish, actually. And I had the opportunity, the blessing to be able to live here in Washington when I was little. And when I was about 7 years old, my parents moved to Mexico, where I went to school for la primaria, all the way till like middle school, la secundaria, moved back to Washington again, this time to Kent when I was 13. And so actually the day of my birthday, that's when when I was crossing the border. And so that's something I'll never forget. I can still remember everything that happened that day. But yeah, I usually just tell people I'm from Kent. It is because that's where I lived the longest. I went to Mill Creek Middle School, and then I went to Ken Meridian High School, where I graduated in 2010, and went off to Eastern Washington University. I graduated. I'm a first generation student. Again, it's such a blessing. It's to be able to have this opportunity to be able to go to school and being able to now help my family and support them whenever they need it. But yeah, that's who I am. That's where I come from. I will always be very proud of my beginnings, my parents, their struggles, their sacrifices, and it is because of them that I am here today and I'm able to support my own community in Kent.
How did you get to where you are right now in the school district?
Yeah, so when I graduated Eastern, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I had done volunteer with LEAP for about 4 or 5 years. That's where I actually met Sonia in 2010 when she did a training for the LEAP ambassadors. That was the first year they were doing that, and that's where I met her. But it was because of my involvement with LEAP that I knew that I wanted to serve students. I wasn't really sure in what capacity, to be honest. And throughout the time at Eastern, I also worked at a program called the Office of New Student Transitions and Parent Programs, where I was able to support our incoming freshmen and transfer students. And so I got to do all of the coordination for our events, and I really enjoyed working with the families and the students. It was really nice to be able to talk to the parents, and then especially our Latino families. You would see them and sometimes struggling, and once you were able to speak in Spanish and explain what was going on, they were like, "Oh, sí, muchas gracias," and just their look in their faces, and I didn't have my mom and my dad come with me to my first step orientation because they were already gone. I had my abuelita, my tío, my tía come and support me. And so I just wanted to be able to support, especially our first generation family, students and their families when they came into college. And so although that was very important, through LEAP, I found that it was even more important to be able to support them in the schools. And so when I graduated Eastern with the support and mentorship of Sonia, I was able to decide to do a AmeriCorps volunteering position with College Success Foundation. And so I was a college and career coach at Washington Middle School in the Seattle Public Schools, and I did it for a year. And I enjoyed it. I absolutely loved working with our students. It was middle school, so it was different. They're just going through so much in that age. And so there were times when it was hard. And when my time was coming to an end with my AmeriCorps position, I started to apply to different places. And College Success Foundation at that time, they were expanding to new districts. Kent and Auburn were the two districts that they were expanding to. And so I decided to apply to the position of college prep advisor. And just a little bit of background, College Success Foundation has been in Washington State for 20 years, actually this year, but it started as a scholarship. And so it was a 10-year grant that they had from the Bill Gates Foundation, well, from Bill and Melinda Gates, and they provided scholarships for students. And so if it wasn't for that scholarship, I don't know if I would be here today. I don't know if I would be here in Washington, to be honest, because it was because of the scholarship that that my parents actually, my dad made me stay in Washington State when they moved to California in 2009. Because I had a scholarship, they would promise me to pay my school for 4 years. And so thanks to that scholarship and to state grants and federal grants, I was able to graduate Eastern with a very, very, very small student loan. Super small and super small, I won't even say, because it was very, very small. And so because of the support that I had from College Success Foundation, I decided that I wanted to support support my community in Kent. And I was blessed to be given the opportunity to have that full-time position of college prep advisor at Cañada High School. So I actually went back to Cañada High School, to my alma mater, to be able to support my community, which was really nice. And so I was working with College Success Foundation for about 4 years. And I think, and I love working with the students. Absolutely loved seeing their growth, seeing their passion to continue, especially our first generation students. They have so many questions, just like I did. And our parents want us to go to college, but I think that because it's so different from back at their homes, they don't really, in their countries, they don't really know how to support us. And so being able to be that person to support our students was definitely a blessing. But I do also know that with time, growth comes, and then there are times when you feel like you're not growing anymore. And so I felt like with that position that I had, I wasn't growing anymore. I was not going to be able to like move forward. And so I took the hardest decision in my professional life to move on. And so this position came open within the school district in Kent, and I went for it, and I was, again, blessed to have this opportunity to work for the Kent School District now and being able to support our students. And so I went to Mill Creek Middle School, where I went to school, to support our 8th grade. And so this is a cohort model that I will be with these students that I'm currently supporting until their first year of their post-secondary school or choice of school. So I will be with them for the next 5 years, which is, it's amazing. I'm really excited. And so I know it's a long answered, but that's how I am now. That's how I ended up in the position that I am now. It really all started with starting volunteering with LEAP, knowing that I loved working with our students and being able to support them. And then now in my own community.
Can you tell me what La Cima means to you?
La Cima to me means family. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but you know, La Cima, and so I definitely, it means a lot. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to be part of La Cima. And so it's interesting. Back in 2008, I was invited to be a delegate, but we actually had planned a trip with my family, and I wasn't able to go. And then in college, I kept getting invited to go to La Cima as a JC when I was in college, but I couldn't go because of the position that I had at Eastern working in the summers. And so it just never really happened. And so people think sometimes like, oh, how was it when you were a delegate? I was like, oh, I was never a delegate or a JC. I just really came straight as an SC. But I can sum it up, but it really means a lot. Definitely a family to look forward to see in May for the trainings, and then in the summer in June. And it's a time that I look forward to spend with so many people who bring so much knowledge. Our students, I mean, I learn from our students when we're there, and it's a familia.
What did you leave with or take away from La Cima?
Every time I leave La Cima, I leave empowered. I see the growth in our students within a week. And when they get there, and when we get there, right, their students are like, oh, I don't want to be here. I miss this, I miss that. And you hear them, oh, I gave my friend my Snapchat username so they can keep this the streak that I have with so-and-so, right? And then as the time goes by, you just see them get out of their shell, get out of their comfort zone. And then all of a sudden you just see them like grow. And I always leave tired, but empowered. And it brings me so much joy to be able to see even my own students that we've sent from KM, and then seeing them at school the following year, school year, and see them excited, motivated, and ready to just kind of like take on the world, right? And it's, I love that, and I really cherish that for sure.
What is the best memory you've made at La Cima?
Yeah. You know, there are a couple, and I think the first one would be when I was an SC for the first time, and just really being able to talk. There was just a lot sometimes that I was like, not confused, but I had questions or just really needed to talk through things. And so just really being able to connect. I think so I'm really close with Sonia and then Erika Senior, because I'm Erika Junior. And so I love being able to share what I was going through. And I think when you're at La Cima, you connect differently with people than when you're not at La Cima, right? And so really being able to connect with them and just really talking through my own personal things or just situations that I was going through that time is that I think that's really has helped me a lot. And that's something that I cherish a lot. And I will have it in my heart being able to just connect with them and learning from them because they've been doing it for so long, and just they're amazing people. Also something, it was just taking my group to the challenge course and just seeing them struggle. It's I mean, it's not funny, but now that you think about it, it was just like, it brings me so much joy, and it's really sad that we couldn't be there this year, you know, obviously for what we're going through. But I really enjoyed taking my students to the challenge course and just really seeing them working together. And then it's kind of like cuando vas al challenge course, llevas a un grupo de estudiantes, but when you come out of there, it's like if you bring another group of students, like they're so tight, they are trusting themselves, they are communicating more, and it's a different ball. And I really enjoyed that. And I think just really sharing that experience with those students, and then seeing them come as JCs, or seeing my own former students come as JCs. I think it's amazing just to see that the impact that La Cima has. The students do want to come. And, oh, can I come as a JC now? Can I come? When can I come as an SC, right? I think it's definitely, it's beautiful to see.
What keeps you going in this current moment?
Really, right now, what really keeps me moving is my family. I'm very family center. Yeah. And I just, especially in this moment, you know, when I see my dad working, my mom working, and when there are times when I'm just like, oh, I have to work, I think about the privilege that I have and blessing to be able to be at home and being safe and working, right? And so really what keeps me motivated is my parents' sacrifices. I'm 28. I just turned 28 this year. And I think about all the things that I've been able to accomplish. And sometimes I think, oh, wow, my mom was 28 at this, and at my age, she already had 3 kids. And I see both of my parents still trying to do their best, like aprendiendo nuevas cosas, tratando de superarse a su edad. And that really, really keeps me motivated. That if they can do it, I can do it too. And so also, I have some of my students on, or my former students, on social media, and just seeing them advocating and their passion for advocacy, that also keeps me going. It keeps me going to see them motivated, to see them giving back to their community. And that also keeps me motivated and just keep moving forward. I think this new generation has a lot of, like, I don't know, like a lot of power, I guess, and being able to do a change, have a change. And so being able to support them, whatever it is, I think that also keeps me motivated. You know, right now, I'm reading. I'm reading more. I'm reading a book, the new Jim Crow law, and learning how it's a privilege to learn, right? It's a privilege to learn what our Black brothers and sisters are going through. And so reading and being able to just learn more through podcasts or through documentaries, that's what I'm taking in order for me to be able to keep supporting my community but especially my Black students, Black community in where I'm working. And so I again, just really learning more. There's so much that I need to learn. There's just so much that, you know, over the years you start learning and you start to realize that those are the things that we did not learn in high school. And then we need to learn these things in order for us to be informed, but also to be able to support. And so that's what I'm doing. Also self-care. I definitely taking a lot of self-care time. I like running. So that's one of the things that I really enjoyed and I really like doing in order for me to be able to just keep moving and stay healthy, I guess, in this tough times. And it was funny that you say that because not too long ago, like earlier today, my mom was telling us que es mejor dar que recibir. And that's always something that we've had that in our minds. Es mejor dar que recibir. So yo te doy lo poco, mucho que yo tengo, te lo voy a dar. Sin recibir nada a cambio, I'm just here for you. And that's something that my parents have like installed in us. And so I think it just comes from them as well. They're examples. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. We have a lightning round questions. Are either one sentence or one word. So you can elaborate, but it's basically short answers. What is a book or a podcast you recommend to everyone?
Oof. Okay, so Sonia got me into it's called, sorry, I gotta look for it. It's Brené Brown. That's her podcast, Unlocking Us. And it's a good one. I was listening today actually to there's a 2-part series. It's called I'm Sorry and like Ways to Apologizing. And so that's a good one. But Unlocking Us with Brené Brown.
What is a piece of advice you would say to your younger self or wish you heard when you were younger?
Do not be scared to try new things. Always ask for support and always ask questions. Yeah.
What is a call to action you have for our listeners?
Move out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Ask questions. We are learning so much nowadays, especially with everything that is going on. Do your research, ask questions, and really just get out of your comfort zone. I remember once at the LEAP conference, someone said, if you're not feeling uncomfortable, you're not growing. So we have to feel uncomfortable in certain situations to be able to grow. And so that's my call of action.
What or who are you most grateful for in this moment?
There's just so many people. Okay, I'm probably just gonna be a little bit, not just one person, but really, really grateful right now for my partner, my husband, Romeo. He's been my rock, and he has seen the ugliest side of me probably during quarantine, and I'm so grateful for him, but also grateful for my family, my mom, my dad, my siblings, just my family overall. It's been tough these past couple, this entire quarantine has been really hard for us, for him and me, and just really their support, their prayers have really helped us. And our friends, our closest friends, who have an ear to listen to my rants. So just really grateful for those people, my friends, my closest friends, and I won't name them because they know who they are, and just really thankful and grateful for them. But yeah.
It's just a blessing that you're there at La Cima. You get to give back so much you get to connect with students, and just the way that you move about life is just amazing. And it's inspiring for people like me who, like last year was my first year. So I just want to thank you. I also want to thank you because without you even knowing me, like that first year, you, Sonia, Cristina, you guys were just there. I think experiences like those just show you how there's so many good people out there and people who are just willing to help. So I just want to thank you for who you are, for everything that you do, and just for being in spaces where a lot of people can get the most of you. So
thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's really nice that we can have these this space to be able to share our stories and just remembered La Cima, because it's so sad that we couldn't have La Cima this year.